Welcome to my daily review. Today is Monday, May 19th, and we had a quiet day today, surprisingly so, in that oh, this looks messed up here on market surge. Yeah, it was up 4 points today. I don't know what's going on with this one. Yeah, May 19th, up 4 points. You're looking at a daily chart of the Nasdaq, which survived the great Moody's downgrade today. It opened lower. And I'm always skeptical of, gaps higher on a Monday morning. Well, also, conversely, a gap lower and this thing was bought up. So this is telling you, that the dips are being bought. We're in a nice uptrend, strong uptrend. And after last week, I had mentioned last week that the Nasdaq was up, what, 1,200 points or 7.15%. You would expect some sort of profit taking. And we just, it was just gobbled up. Today's little dip there was just bought up immediately. And so you can see that there on the 5-minute chart. Anyway, it was up 4 points today or 0.02%. Big volume there, 51% of the 50-day average volume and close at 19,215. So this is all very good news for the bulls who want to get long in the stock market here. Some folks missed the rally. Maybe Moody's did, so they downgrade the U.S. Debt and then, maybe buy the dip. I don't know. I'm not that much of a conspiracy theorist. It's just, some folks were non-believers and not in this rally here, and they want to get in. So I think this is going higher. You can see on Friday the hammer candle, and then today we have the hammer here where it closed near the high of its daily range. I think the high was 227. It closed at 215. So just a couple of points off its high for the session. You can see this rally going on here from, I'll go back a little bit, the 27% correction. Then, April 7th, we got the, the reversal of the tariffs or whatever, the non-tariff tariffs or whatever. It doesn't matter. We're just kind of watching technically what's going on here. And it rallies through all these moving averages. You can see the shorter term moving averages rallying through the longer term moving averages, which is what is critical here to me. And today I have it on the 5. I really got to change that because I was looking at stocks showing strength, which I'll get to in a minute. But for the index, we should really look at the 10. The 10 went through the 200. First of all, went through the 50 and now the 200. The 21 went through the 50 and now ready to go through the 200. Maybe this thing trades sideways for a couple days, but to me, this thing wants to go higher. This is the Nasdaq where all the growth stocks are. You can see the big volume coming in here. So institutions are supporting this market, and that's what we want to see. Follow the institutions and follow the leaders. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the indexes anymore because the leaders will tell you how the market's doing. And Netflix was one of the leaders out of the gate. It was just flat in the session today. It pulled back to its 10 recently and found support. Now I got to switch back to the 5 because when I'm looking at leading stocks, and I post these every morning and on the weekends at mcstockcharts.com, these leading stocks. And, if you could see these like Netflix being supported at the 5 with this hammer candle closing near the high of the day, 71% of the daily range. DUOL, another one showing strength, um, pulling back to its 5 today. That looks like a nice little bull wedge pattern there. Duolingo looks good. Spotify made a new high today. And it's surfing its 5 there. You can see that pull back to its 5, 646. The 5 is 649. So pull back there and found support and bounced higher. Yeah, I would call that a bounce. Sure. New high for Spotify. There's just a lot of these names out. And when the rally first started, there was only a few leaders, and now they're showing more and more are showing up here on our screens, and more are, it's broadening. So this is what we want to see, a broader rally here. And this is Uber, which I was hoping would pull back to that 87. Didn't do it. It pulled back to what, 90 today, 90.56, and bounce closed up. Yeah, mid of it. That's not right. I can tell This is not right. It did not close at 49% of its daily range. The high was 92.55 and then it closed at 92.46. That's not 49%. That's more like 99%. Anyway, market surge looks like it's got some glitches today, so we'll just have to deal with it. That was one that I put on my ready list today, as well as CrowdStrike. Now, I like CrowdStrike here because it's doing this little, flag type of pattern here, pinching in tighter and tighter, and that's what we want to see. A little pennant or flag, whatever you will, after this cup with handle rallies up, and now it's tightening up here. So yeah, we like CrowdStrike for this week, and even beyond Hood, Robinhood. This is another one. I didn't put this on the ready list today because it was been on the last few weeks, and I thought it was getting a little bit hot, but it just pulled back to its five today, and you could see what happened with Robinhood pulling back to the five early in the morning. You can see that this one was kind of strong. It was not down that much early in the morning. Yeah, there you go. The closing range is 98% today. So you got that hammer candle, which indicates to me I think it's going higher. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Hims and hers, a little pullback today, but just a quiet inside day. That's what you want to see out of a leader. When it has a pullback, it's just a quiet day within the candle of the prior session, which had a nice rally on Friday, up 10%. So to give back, what, three and a half, we'll take that all day long. Looks good for hims and hers, but it didn't even pull back to its five today. So be mindful of that. If it pulls back tomorrow, the five was 60.78 today. The low is 61.08. So maybe it'll get there tomorrow. I mean, it's going up a lot every day. You can see there it was what, 78, 77 cents today. So yeah, that would make that tomorrow 77 cents added on to 60.78. So like call it like 61.50 maybe. Yeah, I would expect that thing to bounce off the five here pretty soon. It's just a really strong name. MicroStrategy got back in our good graces and back on our strong stock list today. I was going to put this on, but I decided not to because I had five. But 404, 42 obviously, and then bouncing off the five, it's at 413. I might put that one back on. That's one of the bull wedge patterns that I discussed earlier with, I forget the stock already. What was it? Duolingo, I believe. Yeah, so very good. Yeah, anytime you see that little wedge pattern, wedging lower, in lighter volume, back to a moving average, rallies hard, and then gently pulls back. That's very positive action for MicroStrategy. I didn't even look to see what Bitcoin was doing today. Palantir, another one of these stocks that had this cup with handle, then broke out a little bit and then pulled back. So maybe it takes another 5 days and we have this like high handle here, of what, 133. We'll see what happens. We'll give it a couple more days here. You got to be patient with this one, but I think it's going to make new highs real soon. Apple Oven, definitely one of the leading stocks, keeps showing up on our screen. Once again, the same type of pattern here. This what I would call just a bull wedge pattern pulling back to its five. You could be careful with that one. That one looks like it wants to giddy up. So yeah, maybe with I don't know, monthly calls on that one. That one looks pretty darn good to me. AS, this is one that I don't talk about very much. Amir Sports, double bottom base here near that 29.76 buy point, just showing strength. You could see it bounced off its five today. So that's another one, leisure product stock, very nice. CRDO, another one that I talked about earlier, haven't talked about much lately, but forming this like shelf type pattern, which we like, rallies up from 29 and now forming a shelf, finding support at the five. That's textbook action here for Credo Tech Group. CoreWeave, this thing's a beast. I'm just looking at the technical action. I don't, it does have phenomenal sales growth, but man, just looking at this thing technically, I mean, yeah, not much, not many stocks stronger than this one in the market. That's why it has the 99 RS rating. And Carvana, another strong stock, really strong stock. Just, got that 292 buy point, forming this little shelf here as the five catches up. Another one of these names that, close near the highs of the session today, which is what you want to see out of the leaders, right? 87% of the daily range. Man, I got I- anyway, not too many drug stocks that I'm interested in now because they've been getting slammed, but this one is definitely a leader above the moving averages and just trying to form a little shelf pattern here. That would be nice. EXEL. Hmm. One that I really, really, really like. How many reallys do I have to use for GEV? And of all the energy stocks, which I'm going to get to, these data center power plays, this is my favorite. Pull back to its five today, bounce 4%. Thank you very much. It's got that standard buy point of 447.50, and that is going to attract a different type of buyer for sure. You can see the blue dot here. This is, yeah, just a textbook thing of beauty, cup shape pattern. Maybe needs a few more days for a handle. Maybe not, though. There's no rule that says it needs a handle. This one just looks like it wants to trade higher. And you can see the blue dot there. I believe it closed. Yeah, 97% of that daily range. Right around the high was right around that 447.50. So watch for that number. That would be a trigger for GEV. Groupon, another one that I don't talk about much. Groupon, retail internet forming a shelf there. Pulled back to its five today, closed 89% of the daily range. And that's what you want to see with the leaders. IONQ. I think I put this one on the ready list today. Yeah, trading tight within this space here near the moving average. Yeah, it was flat in the session, but I like that one a lot. Keep showing up on our not leading stock. Yeah, leading stock, relative strength list that I post every morning. We like stocks with relative strength. This is NBIS. Just pulled back to its five this morning, found support and bounce. That's a thing of beauty. That's what you want to see. Oklo, OKLO, same thing. Kind of forming a shelf here, but finding support at the five. Once again, 98% of the daily range. These are your strong stocks, folks. That's why I'm showing them. NRG, there's a lot of them. Like I say, it used to be just a handful, then there was a dozen, and now there's like too many for me to go through in a video here because you're going to get bored. But anyway, NRG gap higher on that earnings and just continues to make higher highs. That's the five. It's following the five now. It's surfing like Kelly Slater. Very nice for NRG. Roblox. I have Roblox, Rubrik, and Rocket Lab. All these R stocks that gets confusing here. This is just flat on this session, pulled back to its five today. Looks very good. Yeah, totally flat on the session. Rubrik is my second R stock. Pull back to the five, bounced. Yeah, 99% of the daily range. Very nice. And then I have Rocket Lab, my other R stock, RKLB. This is a thing of beauty as well. Pull back to the five. These things look to me like they're getting ready to go. Finding support at the five, trading tight. I'm not saying they're all going to blast off 10% tomorrow, but this thing looks very well, bodes very well for a continued market rally, in my opinion. And you never have to say my opinion when you're saying it because I'm the one saying it. So, of course, it's my opinion. It's nobody else's. This is a SE rallied nicely on earnings and pulled back to the five today and found support, just like a lot of these stocks that I'm showing. This is not like yeah, 95% of the daily range. Axon, another one of these stocks that keeps showing up. Now, this is a nice cup. No handle here. It's just climbing with the five. So, Axon, another strong stock. And I'm showing you strong stocks, but believe me, there's a bunch of laggards out there like the solar stocks. First Solar getting pummeled. Solar Edge, yeah. Anyway, there's a lot of losers out there. So I just show you the winners and the leaders and the relative strength stocks. That's all I have time for. And I did mention the data center, electrical power, construction plays. These are ones that I like. Vertiv above 100. I like this. Hang in with the five there, which we like a lot. You know that. BST, another one, hanging with the five. We like that. CEG. I mean, I like GE Vernova out of all these. But any one of these looks to me like a buy here, and I'm not going to put a bunch of same type of stocks on the ready list, but this one looks good as well. It's Constellation Energy forming that shelf, finding support at the 5. What more do you want? Power, or excuse me, Quanta Services, another one, forming this little shelf pattern, trading tight within a base, finding support at the 5, just flat on the session. I'm telling you, I think these things are going higher. I could be wrong. I've been wrong often, but what did I say? Often wrong, never in doubt. Sterling, infrastructure, another one, forming a shelf type pattern right there at its 5. I mean, this is like take your pick here, right? Yeah. So the 5 EMA is 185.45, closed just a tick above it today. Sterling looks good. Jacob Solutions, another one, trading tight within its base. MTZ, Mastech. These are all just look really good to me. AGX. So I only could put a couple on my ready list, because I don't want to flood the ready list with the same stocks, but this group looks really good to me. This is a AGX RGAM. This is straight up from the bottom. Needs it's got the blue dot here showing relative strength, but it does need some time to kind of handle out a little bit. Not all stocks need handles. I mean, this thing could break out and move 10% tomorrow if it wants. There are no rules that say it's got to have a handle. This is a road, which is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 days into a handle here. There's a high 104.53. Pulling back to the 5, finding support, closing 84% of the daily range. Yeah, I kind of like this one. This one I did put on the list. There you go, the gap down. Buyers came in. So road, it looks good as well. There's just a lot of them in that group. Anyway, I got to move on. So you got the construction, data center, power play, electrical, and I got to go to the since I like GEV so much. Gotta point out the strength in GE Aerospace. Some of these defense names, you could see the Aerospace Defense Group is a top 5 group. This is a leading stock and a leading group. Look at how many, this is just like a blue wall, right? Big volume coming in. I talked earlier about institutional support of the indexes. I would say they're buying GE Aerospace big time, making a new high today. So if you want to follow the institutions, right? So just wait for when it comes back to the 5 here. If you want to buy a dip, and it'll probably be like an intraday dip, like it did today, right? Dips in the morning back to the 5, and then what happens? It gets bought up. So you had a chance to get it, what, 228, closes at 235. I would say that's a nice day. But yeah, these are showing strength. CW, another aerospace defense stock, top group, top stock. Look at that, 98% of the daily range, closing near the highs. Just another a thing of beauty. These things are, yeah. And then HWM, this is a Kelly Slater stock, just surfing the 5 there. Boop, yep, there it goes, and closing at 98% of the daily range. And I can guarantee you, I didn't even look at this today, but yeah, gap down at the low, at the bottom, excuse me, at the morning, made a low at 160 and just rallied up all day to 166. Nice $6 gain and just finding support after breaking out of that double bottom base. A lot of stocks looking strong. I kind of gravitate towards the software, hardware names, like Palantir and I don't know, Robinhood and CoreWeave and Uber is one that I like. So, but there's just a lot of names here that I'm pointing out here that are making new highs and showing strength. So you have a lot to choose from here. My ready list was kind of small this morning. The CrowdStrike was definitely on it. I want to add to it, a couple of names that I like in here. But anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. In honor of the great Steve Jobs, I do have one more thing. I just want to make sure that you check that ready list tomorrow because I believe it's going to change a little bit. After hours today, we had an earnings report from TCOM. I saw it trading here. It didn't look like much, but once again, you see that bull wedge pattern back to the moving average and it popped 3%. I didn't read the report. I'll have more on it in the morning. And then QFIN, this is a China name. I'm not sure if they even reported, but I'll have more on this in the morning. China stocks kind of got hit after the BABA report last week. Yeah, look at that. Ouch. And then in the morning, we have Home Depot, kind of a big deal here in the retail space. Construction, do-it-yourself, retail name. I'm not expecting a lot out of that one. Then a couple of more fast movers. Pony is reporting in the morning, and so is Billy um, is reporting tomorrow morning. And oh, the cruise ship Viking Cruises, yeah, tomorrow morning. So we'll see what they have to say. That looks like a nice chart there, as it had an inside day today. A little caution ahead of its earnings report, pull back to the five. I think they should have a decent report. Anyway, it's all about the guidance because the report is a rear view mirror look, and the CEO's got to be more aggressive with their guidance here. They've been pretty conservative. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. Remember to check that ready list tomorrow morning. I'm liking the action in the market here today, and obviously with the Nasdaq, just weathering the Moody's downgrade was kind of nice. I do want to point out the Dow Jones was up a lot more than the Nasdaq today because this is a problem with having an index of just 30 stocks. When United Healthcare goes up 8%, it drives that index up, and it kind of hides some of the weakness in the group. Like Apple was down, and I think Sherwin-Williams is in that group. Yeah, it wasn't doing much, and Microsoft, but United Healthcare kind of drove it. Oh, Microsoft ended up up today. Nvidia's in the Dow, it was flat. So yeah, United Healthcare kind of drove it. When it's a price weighted index, when you have a price of 315 and it's up 8%, that kind of drove the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And that's why I rarely show you the Dow. Anyway, that's it for me. Thank you for watching at mcstockcharts.com. We never give up. And I'm just going to go to sleep tonight just dreaming of this chart here. That is just a thing of beauty. Thank you for watching. Never give up. Have a great evening.